It's 7 p.m. You're sprawled on your couch, still wearing those work clothes because changing feels like climbing Mount Everest. Here's the confusing part. You spent 8 hours sitting at a desk, no heavy lifting, no physical labor, just meetings, emails, and staring at screens. So why do you feel like you've been hit by a freight train? If this video resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe because we're diving deep into something that affects millions of us every single day. This is the paradox of modern exhaustion. We're living through something unprecedented in human history, getting completely wiped out from activities that require almost no physical movement. Your great-grandparents would be baffled. They came home with sore muscles but clear minds. We're experiencing the opposite. Bodies that technically rested all day, but minds that feel like they've been put through a meat grinder. The truth? You're not imagining this exhaustion. It's real, it's measurable, and it's happening at levels your body was never designed to handle. We're going to unpack exactly why this happens, what's secretly stealing your energy, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. The background drain phenomenon. Let me ask you something. Ever notice how your phone battery dies by lunchtime even though you barely used it? Then you check your settings and discover 37 apps quietly running in the background, each one sipping power throughout the morning. That's your workday in a nutshell. Here's what most people miss. Your energy doesn't disappear because of one big thing. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Each tiny frustration is a withdrawal from your energy account. The guy who cut you off in traffic this morning? Withdrawal. That vague email from your manager that could mean three different things? Withdrawal. The notification that just buzzed on your phone? Another withdrawal. Unlike your phone showing you that battery percentage dropping from 100% to 47%, you don't get that visual feedback. You just suddenly hit a wall. One moment you're answering emails and feeling relatively okay. The next moment you're staring at your screen, unable to form coherent thoughts. It's like falling off an energy cliff you didn't even know you were standing on. And here's the really frustrating part. This exhaustion feels different from physical tiredness. After a hard workout, you're tired, but there's this sense of satisfaction, of accomplishment. After a day at your desk, you feel drained, heavy, and there's this weird guilt attached because you keep thinking, but I didn't even do anything. That guilt just adds another layer to the exhaustion. The hidden energy vampires at work. Let's walk through your typical workday, but this time we're putting on special glasses that let you see all the invisible energy drains. This is going to be eye-opening. Your commute starts the drain before you even arrive. Whether you're driving or taking transit, your brain is already in work mode. You're mentally rehearsing that presentation, composing emails in your head, strategizing about that difficult conversation you need to have. The workday started 45 minutes before you clocked in. Then you enter your workspace. If you're in an open office, and let's be honest about what open offices really are, you've just entered a sensory battlefield. Every keyboard click, every phone conversation, every laugh from the break room pulls at your attention. Even when you're actively trying not to listen, a part of your brain is processing every single sound. It's like trying to read a book at a rock concert. The lighting deserves its own paragraph. Those fluorescent tubes buzzing away overhead, creating that flat, artificial brightness that makes everyone look slightly unwell. There's research showing that this type of lighting affects your circadian rhythm, your mood, and yes, your energy levels. Your eyes and brain are working overtime just to exist in that environment. Temperature is another silent killer. The office thermostat wars are real. Sarah in accounting is always cold, bundled up like she's on an Arctic expedition. Meanwhile, Tom from sales is sweating through his third shirt, and you're somewhere in the middle, never quite comfortable, your body constantly adjusting and readjusting. These constant micro-adjustments might seem trivial, but they're steadily draining your battery. Then there's the emotional labor nobody talks about. Staying professional when you're frustrated, being pleasant when you're worried about something at home, managing your facial expressions during that meeting that should have been an email. This emotional regulation is exhausting work, except it's invisible so we don't count it. Your stress response gone haywire. Let's talk about stress hormones, but in a way that actually makes sense. You've probably heard people mention cortisol like it's the villain in this story, but here's what's really happening in your body. Think about how you felt as a kid. You'd wake up ready to go, have massive energy spikes throughout the day, then crash hard when bedtime came. Clean energy curves. Now, you wake up tired, stay at this medium level exhaustion all day, then mysteriously get a second wind at 10 p.m. when you're supposed to be winding down. Your energy pattern looks less like natural hills and valleys and more like a broken EKG readout. This is your stress response system stuck in the on position. Imagine your body as a car. You're meant to shift gears based on what you need. First gear for parking lots, fifth gear for highways. But modern work life has you stuck in third gear all day long, not quite resting, not quite sprinting, just constantly humming at medium intensity. No wonder you feel worn out. Here's where it gets particularly cruel. When you're in this state, everything becomes harder. Decision-making feels like you're thinking through fog. The idea of exercising seems laughable. You're hungry, but nothing sounds appealing. Your whole system is just slightly off, like a guitar that's out of tune. It still makes music, but everything sounds wrong. The more exhausted you get, the harder it becomes to do the things that would help you feel better. It's quicksand logic. The solution to quicksand is to relax and float, but relaxing is nearly impossible when you're panicking about sinking. Similarly, when you're drained, mustering the energy to fix the problem feels impossible. The notification nightmare. Ready for some statistics that'll make you want to launch your phone into the sun? The average office worker checks their email roughly every 6 minutes. That's about 80 times during a standard 8-hour workday. But here's the real problem. It's not the checking that destroys you. It's the recovery time. Research shows that when you switch tasks, your brain needs about 23 minutes to fully refocus on what you were doing. But if you're switching contexts every 6 minutes, you're literally never reaching full focus. Your brain is permanently in transition mode. It's like trying to get somewhere by constantly starting your car, moving 10 feet, turning it off, then repeating. You're burning fuel but going nowhere. Those notifications hitting your phone, your computer, your watch, your brain processes each one as a potential threat. Here's the wild part. Your ancient brain can't distinguish between a Slack message and a predator jumping out of the bushes. Both trigger that same fight or flight response. So you're essentially being attacked by wild animals all day, except the animals are calendar invites and project updates. The average person receives around 147 notifications per day. That's 147 mini adrenaline spikes. No wonder you're exhausted. You're in a constant state of low-level emergency. And video calls? They're their own special kind of exhausting. Your brain is working incredibly hard to interpret social cues through a screen, often with lag, poor lighting, and connection issues. It's like trying to have a meaningful conversation while wearing foggy glasses and cotton in your ears. The cognitive load is massive, even though you're just sitting there nodding. The sitting paradox. Here's something that makes zero sense but is completely true. You can be utterly exhausted from sitting completely still all day. We've invented jobs where people feel physically destroyed without moving their bodies. It's like being tired from sleeping. After hours in your chair, your back aches, your neck feels like concrete, your hips are screaming. But there's also this full-body tiredness that's hard to describe. When you're physically active and get tired, there's usually a sense of accomplishment attached. You pushed your body, it responded, you feel satisfied even in your tiredness. Sitting-induced exhaustion is different. You feel tired and restless simultaneously. Your body is screaming that it wants to move, but also the idea of moving seems impossible. It's two contradictory feelings existing at the same time. Here's what people don't realize. Sitting still actually takes energy. You're holding your body in position, fighting gravity, maintaining posture, resisting the urge to just melt into a puddle on the floor. All of this requires muscular engagement and mental effort. It's invisible work, so we don't count it, but your body definitely does. The cruelest irony? When you finally get home and think, I should work out, your body looks at you like you've lost your mind. You've been conserving physical energy all day by not moving, yet somehow you have less energy available than if you'd been active. It's like financial logic where saving money somehow makes you more broke. Decision fatigue is real. Here's something that'll reframe your entire afternoon. You know that moment when you're staring at the fridge like it's a complex puzzle? When choosing dinner feels harder than it should? That's not you being indecisive. That's your brain literally running out of decision-making capacity. Count how many choices you make before lunch even arrives. What to wear, what to eat, which route to take to work, how to word that email, which emoji conveys the right tone without being unprofessional, whether to CC people or not, if this meeting request can be declined, or if attendance is secretly mandatory. Do you reply all or just reply? Each decision seems small, but they accumulate like raindrops filling a bucket. By mid-afternoon, your brain is running on fumes. Tasks that took 2 minutes in the morning now take 15. You reread that email 7 times because you genuinely can't tell if it makes sense anymore. Simple choices become paralyzingly difficult. Then we invented something truly diabolical. Infinite scroll. Your exhausted brain thinks it's resting while scrolling through social media, but you're actually making hundreds of micro decisions per minute. Should I read this? Swipe. Is this interesting? Swipe. Do I care about this? Swipe. It's like trying to rest by jogging slowly. You're still expending energy. After burning through all your decision-making power at work, you come home to more decisions. What's for dinner becomes an existential crisis. What to watch requires a 20-minute search. So you end up eating cereal again and rewatching something you've already seen, because those are the only decisions you don't have to make. Sleep and recovery robbery. This is where things get really depressing. You know how you're supposed to recover from exhaustion? Sleep, rest, actual relaxation? Yeah, about that. Remember that wired but tired feeling? It doesn't magically disappear when you leave work. It follows you home like a dog you accidentally fed once. You're exhausted, but your mind won't stop spinning. Every unfinished task, every awkward interaction, every item on tomorrow's to-do list keeps ping-ponging around your brain. So what do? We engage in what researchers call revenge bedtime procrastination. You stay up late scrolling, watching videos, doing anything that feels like your time because the whole day belonged to work, except you're not actually recovering. You're marinating in blue light and dopamine hits, getting lower quality rest than you desperately need. Even when you do sleep, it's often garbage quality. Your brain is still processing the 10,000 inputs from the day. It's like trying to defragment a computer while 50 programs are still running. That progress bar stays stuck at 12% all night long. Here's the real criminal part. Weekends aren't long enough for actual recovery. You spend Saturday recovering from the week. Sunday, you're preparing mentally for Monday. By Sunday evening, you might be at 70% battery. Then Monday hits and you're immediately back to deficit spending. It's like paying off a credit card by opening another credit card. You're never actually getting ahead. The multiplication effect. Everything we've talked about doesn't just add together. It multiplies. When you're tired, everything becomes harder. When everything's harder, you get more tired. It's not arithmetic, it's exponential. Watch how it plays out. You sleep poorly, so you wake up dragging. Because you're dragging, you grab whatever's fastest for breakfast, usually something loaded with sugar. That gives you a quick spike followed by a crash around 10 a.m. Now you're tired and fighting blood sugar chaos, so you reach for more coffee. That works for maybe an hour before you crash even harder. Now you're exhausted, jittery from caffeine, and still have 6 hours of work ahead. Because you feel terrible, everything takes longer. That report that should take an hour takes 3. Now you're behind schedule and more exhausted, so you skip lunch to catch up. Skipping lunch makes you more tired and less focused, which means you make mistakes, which means things take even longer. It's like dominoes made of energy. Each one falls and knocks down the next. By 5 p.m., you're surveying the wreckage, wondering how one morning of poor sleep turned into this complete disaster. But here's the silver lining hidden in this mess. If these factors multiply negatively, they can multiply positively too. Fix one thing, even something small, and watch how it ripples outward. The compound effect works both directions. You just need to get it working in your favor. The energy tracking strategy, time to get practical. You wouldn't try to save money without tracking where it goes, right? Same principle applies to energy. Here's your assignment. For 1 full week, track your energy levels. Nothing complicated, just use a simple scale of 1 to 10, 4 times per day. Morning, midday, afternoon, and evening. Rate your energy and write one sentence about what just happened before that rating. Energy, 3 out of 10. Just sat through back-to-back meetings with no break. Energy, 7 out of 10. Took a real lunch break outside for once. Energy, 2 out of 10. Had the exact same argument about the Jenkins report again. After 1 week, patterns will emerge like magic. You'll see exactly when and why your energy tanks. Maybe it's those afternoon meetings right after lunch. Maybe it's the mornings when you skip breakfast. Maybe it's the days when you don't see daylight for 8 straight hours. The genius here is that you're not trying to fix everything at once. You're looking for the biggest leaks, the 20% of factors causing 80% of your exhaustion. Identify those major drains, and that's where you focus your efforts. Your personal recovery plan. This is where we turn all this information into action. First, look at your energy tracking and identify your single biggest energy vampire. Just one. Maybe it's the notification avalanche. Maybe it's the sitting situation. Maybe it's the sleep issues. Whatever drains you most, that becomes your target. Here's the crucial part. You're not going to eliminate it completely. That's setting yourself up for failure. Instead, you're going to reduce it by 50%. If you check email 80 times a day, cut it to 40. If you sit for 3 hours straight, add one 5-minute walk every hour. If you get 4 hours of quality sleep, aim for 6. Start stupidly small, embarrassingly small. Because here's what nobody tells you. Exhaustion makes everything feel impossible. So we make changes so tiny that even your depleted self can't refuse. Don't try to become a marathon runner tomorrow. Just walk to the end of your driveway. Don't overhaul your entire diet. Just drink 1 glass of water before your morning coffee. Something transformative happens when you fix even one thing. That 10% energy boost makes fixing the next thing 10% easier. Suddenly, you're not crawling uphill anymore. You're building actual momentum. Small wins compound into bigger wins. The truth about your exhaustion. Let's be clear about something. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're not defective. You're running incredibly sophisticated biological software on hardware that was designed for a completely different world. The fact that you're functioning at all is genuinely remarkable. Your body evolved for a world of physical challenges and clear threats. Hunt, gather, escape danger, rest. Your nervous system is built for that world. But you're living in a world of abstract stressors, constant connectivity, and sedentary marathons. It's like running modern video game software on a computer from 1995. Something's going to lag, but understanding why you're drained is the first step to fixing it. Now you know it's not all in your head. It's not a character flaw. It's a natural response to an unnatural environment. And more importantly, now you know what to do about it. Your energy is your life force. It's what allows you to be present with people you love, to pursue things that matter, to actually experience your life instead of just surviving it. You deserve better than ending every day feeling like you've been wrung out like a dish rag. Start with that energy audit, identify your biggest drain, make one small change, build from there. You don't need to revolutionize your entire life overnight. You just need to plug one leak at a time and watch as your energy starts flowing back. You've got this. Now go track that energy and reclaim your life, one small win at a time. Your future self, the one who actually has energy left at the end of the day, is going to thank you for starting today.